Welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And here's your host, Conrad Cushman.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to Everything Pro Wrestling.
Folks, this is episode 77 of Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here today to talk some pro wrestling. We're going to be talking about my Monday Night Raw review, also AEW and NXT talk. We're going to give some previews and everything that's happening with them tomorrow. And last but not least, we're going to have to talk some Smackdown, guys. Got to get it in. Big news, The Rock's going to be on Smackdown. We're going to have a little discussion on that as well today. Now, I'm putting this episode out kind of last minute. I know a lot of people have questions like, hey, where's all the ads? Where's the crazy Power Slam TV ad? And where's all the other stuff for Brainbuster Radio? You guys should have saw my letter. I put it up on the Facebook page, the Facebook group, Twitter. Basically, it was kind of a letter, me dealing with how I wanted to deal with the situation. I had seen people do podcasts about it, everything else, and that is cool. That is fine. If you guys want to know the stories, you guys can check out Josh's podcast. I'm sure everyone's going to have a few words on it. I don't want to keep talking about this anymore at this point. If you guys want to know what happened, you could do some research on it and get into it. But I do want to say this at least. Everybody at Brainbuster Radio, first the podcasters, we're all still great friends. And I really appreciate every single one of them. At times when I was doubting myself in the very beginning when I first joined Brainbuster, and even the time before I was even asked to join Brainbuster, I felt like I was on this kind of climb to prove something. And I was wondering if I was as good as these folks. And they really helped me get through it. They actually propelled me to be better. And I've heard some of them say the same thing. So it's kind of flattering that we're all going through the same notions in our mind. You guys know personal stuff about me. I know personal stuff about you guys. So I hope that you guys do well. I wish you nothing but success. And I want you guys to do well. And let's stay a tight-knit group. And I appreciate everything that you guys have ever done for me. Every retweet, like, discussion. You guys did teach me life lessons too. So I appreciate that. And I love you all for it. Now, that doesn't just stop at the podcasters. A lot of people in the wrestling community, and I'm more specifically talking about the people who interact with Brainbuster on a consistent basis that took the time out to follow me, listen to my podcast, my shows. Thank you. A lot of people may not know that I'm going to talk about that on this, but that's not my prerogative. I want you guys to be a part of this, hear me out, and listen to me speak about it. Thank you so much for being a fan of wrestling, interacting with me. You guys didn't have to do that. I met so many great people, too many to name right now, but just know that you guys are just as important to me. And I hope you guys continue to interact with me, my brand, and me as the person. Honestly, I've always been me. This Conrad is my real name. You guys know who I am, and I hope that you guys enjoy what I do. And hopefully we can all still work together, interact, whatever it may be. With that being said, we're moving forward with all of this. Me, the entire Brainbuster crew, we're looking forward and good things ahead. Now, let's talk about Monday Night Raw last night. Raw got a new logo. Raw got a new stage. Raw got a new everything. They tried to make it seem like it was a complete facelift. I don't think it was. It was partial, but I saw some good. I saw some I saw some, what is this? Let's talk about it. So this episode of Monday Night Raw took place at the Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. What a name for an arena. Talking Stick Resort. Whoever pays the most money, right? Raw opened up with a new intro video. I liked the new song. I thought it was kind of fitting. At first, I didn't know if it was going to fit when I just heard the lyrics and the theme, But once I saw it put together with the video package, it just worked. The new Raw stage, they had the pyro going. We had our new commentary team, Dio Madden, Vic Joseph, and Jerry the King Lawler. Let's talk about commentary first. Dio Madden and Vic Joseph were very quiet in the beginning. It was awkward when the King had to kind of take over and talk for them. Not mad at it, though. And throughout the night, they started to heat up. So I'm going to look forward to them over the next coming weeks to see how they kind of gel and see what they're doing. King did a very good job. I know a lot of people were like, I don't want Jerry the King Lawler on there. Let's respect what Jerry Lawler has done on commentary, because he held it together when there were some very awkward silent points, and he made sure that he was talking, running with things, and he did a good job covering for them. That's how I feel. But throughout the night, though, Vic Joseph did great. And Dio Madden, I'd like to hear from him a little bit more than we have been. I really think that he's got some good things that he can offer and do. So back to what I was saying, though, they talked about the Raw stage next, a lot of fans. And the Raw stage, some people were putting like Tony Hawk because it looked like kind of a skateboard area where you could just roll up on, do a 900, come back down. But it's different, man. All right, I'm going with it. I'm interested to see what SmackDown has for their stage. But Raw did their thing. Rey Mysterio comes out first. He comes out wearing actually a really dope jacket, in my opinion, with him and Eddie Guerrero on it. Rey, jacket was dope, bro. Need the link. Rey and Dominic's front row getting ready to cheer for his dad, because Rey Mysterio is scheduled to have a Universal title match with Seth Rollins that night. And while he's out there, he dedicates the match to his son. Rey says he's bringing home the Universal Championship tonight. But then Brock Lesnar's music hits. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out to the ring. And, Heyman gets on the mic. Rey snatches it from him. Brock grabs Rey and gives him 2 F5s in the middle of the ring. And Brock Lesnar walks outside the ring. And you kind of see Dominic yelling like, hey, that's my dad, getting upset. And Brock looks at him. And it was at that moment that I knew greatness was about to happen. Brock Lesnar locks eyes on Dominic, and he snatched him up in the fastest way possible that you could. He grabbed him, threw him over the barricade. He looked like he was going to F5 him, and Dominic kind of overshot it a little bit. Brock saves it by grabbing him, picking him up, and he just throws him into the post and dumps him onto the ground. Brock eventually brings them back in. He delivers suplexes. He threw Rey into the ropes. That's how small Rey was. They could have a contest with how far he was launching these guys. Dominic took some nice bumps in the ring. I give him big props for what he was doing out there with that. And then when it looks like Brock's about to leave, he keeps coming back and attacking. Heyman's trying to stop him. I think Brock beat up Pat Buck and Fit Finlay as well. He gave them a little bit of a beat down. And there was nothing anyone could do about this. Brock picks up Dominic and throws him out of the ring by his shirt. Dominic ends up getting picked up, put into an ambulance, and he is taken to the back. And you hear Rey just saying, I'm sorry, Dominic, I'm sorry. Good emotional stuff here as far as storytelling. This is what I want to see. So I really like that, and they did some good stuff. I like the fact that they showed him then getting put into the ambulance. Rey takes off his mask, and the windows on the back of the ambulance were frosted, so you really couldn't see Rey's face, but he took his mask off, and he was just like, I'm sorry for all this, and he was crying. Emotion. That's what I'm looking for Monday Night Raw, emotion. Now we get to the first match on the card. We had Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss got pyro. No surprise there. Becky Lynch came out. She was on commentary. Becky Lynch even had her fog back. And this was a match that a lot of people in the, I guess we'll call them the stands of Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss, they were all in on this match, talking crap to each other all week on social media, stuff that you're just so tired of seeing. And with this, people should be expecting a great match, because I think that both of these girls can deliver a good match. I shouldn't say girls, women can deliver a good match with anyone. And we get some good stuff here. Sasha's in the feud with Becky Lynch, so we knew that that was going to play a part into this. But Sasha Banks comes out and she picks up the win with a roll-up. for the 3 count. Kind of an awkward way to end the match, but after the match, Becky hits the ring and brawls with Sasha. Sasha ends up running away, and she gets away running through the crowd, and Becky Lynch is talking trash to Sasha in the ring before she leaves, and this sets up everything for Hell in a Cell. And great notes here by SE Scoops. This is who I'm using for all the coverage, and I'll be using WWE.com for NXT. But excellent stuff here as far as the notes on SE Scoops. Very descriptive. I can't wait. This is one of the matches I'm looking forward to at Hell in a Cell this Sunday. So we've got some pretty dope stuff coming up with that. After the match, though, Becky hits the ring, and she's brawling with Sasha. And it just was a perfect way to get this going. And this isn't the last time we're going to see these two for the night. Sasha's going to come back out and have something to say backstage later on. They were trying to bring that element of randomness to this. And to me, they were doing fine until a certain point, and then I'll kind of tell you where everything started to fall off the rails for me. But we get to a tag team title match for the Raw tag titles. Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler versus Heavy Machinery. Fun back and forth match. Otis, very entertaining. People love them. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, great heels. They're doing their thing right now in the tag division. I hope that they try to legitimize this tag team. It feels weird that they're a team beating teams who have been teaming for quite some time, and I feel Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler still kind of feel like a thrown-together tag team. But glorious DDT on Tucker for the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler remain the tag team champs. Here's where it starts to get weird. We get a special edition on the season premiere of Raw. Oh, I was so sick of hearing that. Of Miz TV, special edition. Miz has 2 guests, Hulk Hogan and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Now, they did a really good job having them in there. They took good care of the guys. They cut away when they were getting in the ring because they didn't want to show them looking old. And Jimmy Hart came out with Hogan. I felt bad Jimmy Hart didn't get a chair. What's up with that, man? Why couldn't Jimmy Hart sit? But Jimmy's out there with the megaphone with Hogan, and they're setting up everything. I think they did that too so Hogan didn't get full boos, because then you're like, oh, I can't boo Hogan because Jimmy's with him. And Jimmy did nothing wrong. So, wise move on WWE's end. They get into this whole back and forth. Let me tell you something, brother. There's woos. Flair's tired of his music. Flair says Hogan, Austin, Taker might be the biggest draws in the business. But in terms of in-ring, he says he's the best ever. He says he has no equal in the ring. Ric Flair's ripping off his jacket. These two look like they're ready to go. Fans are chanting, one more match, one more match. Craziness. Craziness, craziness, craziness. So we get into more of this, and we find out that at their next Saudi Arabia show, I think it's Crown Jewel 4, I Want More Money More, something like that. We're going to have Team Hogan versus Team Flair in a 5-man tag match. Then they reveal their captains. Hogan's captain is Seth Rollins, the Universal Champion. He comes out. He's happy to be a team captain. And then before Flair can even announce it, they send Orton out because this segment lost all control with them on the microphones talking. Randy Orton comes out, and he gets on the mic to tell Rollins to get out of Hogan's ass. Freaking hilarious. I laughed at that part. And Orton challenges Rollins to a captain's match right there, right now. And Rollins accepted. Excuse me. The production comes out to clear out the carpet and everything else. But Baron Corbin comes out to interrupt, and Corbin and Orton double team Rollins. So it looks like Baron Corbin has now also joined Team Flair. But then Rusev comes out for the save, and Rusev and Rollins clear the ring, and they pose with Hogan on the stage. So Rusev has joined Team Hogan with Rollins. So it looks like Rusev's a babyface now? Feels weird. Feels kind of random. I don't know where we were going with this. We get to Rey Mysterio. We are told he won't be returning after this. So, cool. Then we get to a backstage interview with Rusev. Rusev, he says he's challenging Seth Rollins for the Universal title tonight because he wants a title shot. We get another pre-tape promo of the Authors of Pain. I like this new kind of mafia, we work at the deli but we'll beat your ass kind of gimmick that they're doing. They're talking about violence and what they're capable of in their native tongue. I like it. Rematch, Viking Raiders, Anderson and Gallows. man, it is what it is with this. The Viking Raiders pick up the win here. I don't know. I felt some kind of way when Anderson and Gallows lost. Like, you sure you wanted to sign for 5 more years? But I don't know what was promised. I don't know if AJ talked him into it. But the Viking Raiders needed the win, too. They're not in a really bad spot. We'll see with the shakeup what happens with the tag division, because hopefully that corrects a lot of everything that's going on that's wrong with these shows, too. But hard to have faith at this point. I get it, but let's be patient. Cesaro is backstage for an interview. He's kind of talking crap on Rey, and Ricochet is kind of Rey Mysterio's mentor. He's out there trying to stick up for him, saying like, hey, you shouldn't talk like that. Let's go out there and have a match. Usual wrestling stuff. Ricochet versus Cesaro. Weird thing. Cesaro's a tire, bro. We need to find something else. Those pants and all that they're trying to do, it ain't working, bro. Let him go back to the tights. Let him just be Cesaro. It's cool, man. He can just come out with the jacket. He's got new music. I'm fine with that. But instead, they wanted to have Ricochet come out here. They wrestled a good match, and Ricochet ends up getting the win with the West Coast pop. So it felt weird that Ricochet used Rey Mysterio's move. Maybe this is leading to a feud, a big match. I don't know. I feel like this is like Rey Mysterio's like swan song, maybe. But Ricochet gets the win with it, and Ricochet made it look pretty. We get to Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse, and they're just talking. They set up everything for Hell in a Cell, and Bray says it's okay to be scared because he's scared too, because there's nothing like Hell in a Cell. We get a good match here. I've heard a lot of people talk about Cedric Alexander being buried because he's facing AJ Styles in this match, and I disagree with that completely. If he was being buried, he wouldn't be featured on TV because they were already doing that. So we got a match here. Cedric Alexander, AJ Styles, U.S. titles on the line. Really good back and forth. Some people thought this would be Cedric's moment, and Cedric at one point went for the lumbar check. AJ Styles escapes, goes for a roll-up, but during the kick out of the early roll-up, he picks him up. Styles clash, 1, 2, 3. There's a reason they call the man phenomenal. AJ Styles picks up the win. For the amount of time they had, very good match. Let me get a quick drink of water here. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I still feel like 3 hours of Raw is too long when my voice is getting tired of just doing 15 minutes of talking everything that's happened. Street Profits are backstage talking about the season premiere, and they kind of promote NXT on Wednesday because they're going to be in a tag title match, and we're going to get to that later on. But the Street Profits promote NXT on Raw. Smart move. Lacey Evans versus Natalya. We see this match. I don't know why they keep doing this. Lacey Evans gets the win. That's all I know. She rolls her up, hooked the tights, and then she hit her with a women's right after. I don't know what the infatuation with Lacey Evans is. I'm kind of over it. I'm done with this. It's just bad, man. It's not working for me. Paul Heyman's backstage for an interview, and he says his client's actions tonight were reckless, and he apologizes to the Mysterio family. But he also says, don't blame Brock. Blame Vince McMahon. Heyman says the McMahon should have known better. Heyman says that Brock is going to do this again this Friday to Kofi Kingston. He says it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler, and Brock will be the new champion on Friday. Interesting. Maria Kanellis is backstage for an interview. She's backstage talking about the whole Rusev is not the father of her child. It says Rusev has enough going on with Lana. Maria walks off. Then Sasha Banks walks over and takes the mic. So this is what I was talking about. Sasha gets back in and starts promoting Hell in a Cell, and she says that she's going to make Becky Lynch tap out at Hell in a Cell. So I can only assume she's talking about slapping on that bank statement and winning back the Raw Women's Championship. Then we get a white limo that pulls up to the building. Maybe it's the NWO in there. Who knows? They never really showed anybody during this segment, so you're left wondering who's in the limo. Seth Rollins versus Rusev. These guys have a decent back and forth match. It's exactly what you expected. During the match, though, Rollins is coming back with a Falcon Arrow. Rusev fights back again, drops Rollins. All of a sudden, Bobby Lashley's music plays, and Lashley comes out to the stage, and he does his point, and he kind of motions for someone to come from the back. Lana's music hits. Yeah. And then Lana rubs up on Bobby Lashley. She hugs and kisses him on the stage. And I'm not talking like a peck. I'm talking about full-blown making out. And that had to be uncomfortable because I felt uncomfortable watching it because it was for a long time. And she put her legs wrapped around him. It was just weird, man. And that's Rusev's wife. I don't know if they're trying to embarrass this dude because he's on his way out with Lana. I don't know what it is. But then all of a sudden, the lights go out. The Fiend appears, and the Fiend grabs a hold of Seth Rollins, who was on the floor, and gives him the mandible claw. The lights keep flashing, and the screen goes black. And as Raw goes off the air, they kind of fade to black, and then at the end, you hear Bray Wyatt's laugh. Music to my ears. I love the Fiend character, but this match felt awkward. The Lana and Bobby Lashley stuff was the moment of the night. Like, why was this necessary? Very weird to see all that. Very weird. And I think I'm actually going to try to slip in. You know what? I'll save it for SmackDown on Friday. I'm going to probably give my Hell in the Cell preview and predictions on there too with SmackDown. So let's talk about the Velveteen Dream experience coming to the USA Network. It's one of those things that they're promoting. They are talking about having limited commercial interruptions with this. And that's what we're going to talk about when we get right back after listening to a word from our friends at Everything College Basketball. We'll be right back talking some NXT, AEW, and SmackDown. Make sure you guys stick around for that.
Everything Pro Wrestling, it's your boys from the Everything College Basketball podcast and Facebook group. I'm Josh Burton, letting you all know that if you like the college game, that there's only one spot to come find all you need to know.
Yep, Josh, Peyton, and myself, Tyler. We are the three voices of ECB podcast and Facebook group. Peyton, tell them where they can find us and listen to us at.
Well, Tyler, you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all other podcast hosting sites. Also, go join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups like Everything College Basketball. So if you want everything you need to know about the collegiate game or have a passion for it, there's only one spot that you need to check out on a weekly basis or a daily basis with the Facebook group. That's Everything College Basketball. Now let's get back to Conrad informing you on everything pro wrestling and the workings around it.
Brother.
Yo, what is good, everybody? This is your man, Montez Scott, Mr. Move Like a Thief of the Night, the Titan, the Salt Maker podcast host, and you are listening to Everything Pro Wrestling. Salute.
All right, folks, and I'm back. Had to include another Anchor-sponsored ad into there. Hopefully, if you guys are looking at podcasting, Anchor is the way to go. You can talk about any subject on here and make sure the people hear you. But speaking of being heard, the Purple Highness is returning to the USA Network Wednesday, and it will certainly be an experience. They are hyping the Velveteen Dream, so I'm sure he's going to be on there talking about his loss of the NXT North American Championship to Roderick Strong. Now, this is where they were promoting the limited commercial interruption, at least where I saw it. And now they have also been saying that they're going to have an overrun till 10:15. WWE is making some moves. They're trying to make sure that things go smooth as far as this NXT show goes. But we've got some big matches lined up for this Wednesday now. Wednesday has always been the home of NXT, and it looks like they're bringing out all of the big players from NXT for this one. We've got Johnny Gargano making his USA Network debut this Wednesday. He's taking on Shane Thorne. I guess he's now taking on the name The Worst Shane Thorne. Seems weird, but ever since we left the breakout tournament, Shane Thorne has been kind of fighting every single person to get to the next spot, and now he's at Johnny Gargano, and he kind of told him he needed to walk away from the gold and black brand, but Johnny Gargano's not going for it. He is going to do his own thing. And in response to Thorne, he says that he is NXT for life, and now they're going to have a match. So these two should deliver big, man. Shane Thorne's been looking for his big break, and here it is. So he's going to go one-on-one with Johnny Gargano. William Regal took to Twitter to announce that we will get an NXT Tag Team Championship rematch as the Undisputed Era get ready to defend the titles against the Street Profits. As I said earlier on the Raw review, the Street Profits are promoting this heavily. And the weird thing is the Undisputed Era have a lot of the gold, the tag belts, North American title, and the NXT World Championship. And at this point, what can we expect from them? I don't know. They could lose the title at any given moment, these guys. The Street Profits will be looking to reclaim, but can they win them back? I feel like it's too soon. So if I have to give a prediction, I'm going with Johnny Gargano beats Shane Thorne. And I'm going to also go with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish retain the NXT Tag Team titles. Now, all of this Undisputed Era talk, but we've got someone who has been undisputed, one of the best women's champions in NXT. We've got Shayna Baszler, and she's getting ready to take on Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae is someone who, if you have never seen her matches with Joey Ryan, the Young Bucks, do yourself a favor. After you're done listening to this, go on YouTube and just type in Candice LeRae, and you'll have a ball. She's amazing. So Candice LeRae won the number one contendership in a fatal five-way. She earned it, and I thought that was the best match on that show. She really crushed it. So Shayna Baszler's been a dominant champion. No one's been able to defeat her since she regained the title for the second time. What is going to happen here? The submission magician is going to have to figure out a way to defeat Candice LeRae. She's been doing a lot of things, but is it Candice's time is the question. I'm going to say no. I know a lot of people are predicting Candice to win here. I'm going to say Shayna Baszler retains. I just don't think it's Candice's time, and I think you could tell a better story going into the next takeover. And I've also said this. I feel like Shayna Baszler's ahead of her proteges or her fellow four horsewomen, and I just don't see them moving up, and there's no Ronda Rousey. Everything seems uncertain. So right now I say you just leave Shayna where she is, but this should lead to a rematch, I feel, between the two at TakeOver, and then maybe you could do a title change. And in the main event, rumor is that Adam Cole's hurt. I don't believe it. I think that's from the kayfabe news report they put out. Matt Riddle is challenging the NXT champion Adam Cole. What a match to go up against. Matt Riddle is someone who I really believe could be the face of the NXT brand as soon as it's time. I don't know how much longer they want to keep Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era down there, but they're ready at any point to move up, and I think Matt Riddle's the guy that you go with for this. Simply amazing. The dude can wrestle. A lot of people seem like they're into his gimmick. Like I said, push Riddle. Maybe he goes for the NXT North American Championship after this. I don't know, but my prediction is Adam Cole retains the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think it's time for him to lose it just yet. So I'm going to go with Adam Cole to retain his championship. Now, this leads us to the other show that comes on Wednesdays. Oh, yes, it's true. AEW Dynamite. Now, we've got a lot of big matches announced for this. And let me see here. If I thought I had the entire card pulled up. It looks like I don't. But we're live, so you know what? We're going to Google it. We're going to put in AEW Dynamite card. And we're going to pop this open. And we're going to do a little preview and predictions for this as well. I'm excited, man, for this show. I feel like we've been waiting months and months and months. We've been talking about it for AEW. And it's time. It's here. Let's see what they can do. Are they going to change the landscape of pro wrestling? It is a new company. Is everything going to happen like this? No. Trust me, folks. But let's see what they can do. I really want to see it. So, rumor has it that the first match is going to be Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara. Big shout out to Montezzi as well. Montezzi is someone who I interviewed on Brainbuster Radio, and I just uploaded all those interviews with Chris Van Vliet, Montezzi. They're under bonus episodes. So if you guys want to listen to all the stuff I recorded for Brainbuster, please feel free. And I'll have to get the audio from some of the other ones and upload them if you guys want them, like the RVD, my favorite matches that he had that I recorded on 420. We could get into all that. But Montezzi recorded Sammy Guevara's theme. I can't wait to hear it. I love Montezzi's work. He's really cool. someone who I think I could call a friend at this point. And Sammy Guevara is going to come out ready to show off, man. He's waited his entire life. A lot of these young guys are going to be hungry, and it's their time to shine. Cody Rhodes has also put implications on this, talking about, well, if he loses, Sammy Guevara is probably the guy who's going to fit into his title match against Chris Jericho at Full Gear. So big match here coming up. A lot of people thought that Sammy's going to win. I'm taking Cody Rhodes for the win here. I think it just lines up right. Sammy Guevara is a young guy. He's got lots of time to get into it. Let's see what Cody's got. We get into the idea of us having Jon Moxley speak. What's he going to do? Moxley is probably going to start promoting his match that he's going to have with Kenny Omega at Full Gear. But it'll be good to see Moxley back on TV. Maybe he brings out the New Japan Pro Wrestling U.S. Championship with him. I don't know if he has it. Maybe they took it away because they know he'll be wrestling for AEW. But I want to see what Moxley does. So be on the lookout for him. We've got MJF versus Brandon Cutler. This is all about MJF's Cody's boy. Brandon Cutler's the Bucks boy. And this should be a fun match. Brandon Cutler has the veteran feel-good story that he finally got offered the contract. I think it's going to be dope. MJF, though, best heel in the company. I feel like you have to go with him. MJF's just the one. He's the one, man. He's someone who I can see in the main event one day, slowly groom him, and just make sure he doesn't say anything too out of line at the right times, and MJF's your guy. Dungeons & Dragon community hate this dude right now, so MJF's my prediction for the win. We've got another amazing match here. We have Adam Hangman Page versus Pac, the match that we never got. Page came up short in his bid for the championship against Jericho, but now he's trying to climb back up. Pac is undefeated after he surprisingly defeated Kenny Omega at All Out. What's going to happen when these two clash? We finally get the match we were supposed to get from Double or Nothing. And I'm going with Pac picks up the win here, and I think he goes to 2-0, or excuse me, Pac is how I was told it said. So I'm picking Pac to get the victory here, and I think he goes 2-0. No reason, but like I said, Adam Hangman Page is going to have to do some cowboy shit and try to figure out how to get back up on his horse and win the AEW championship. We have an AEW Women's Championship match. We are going to crown the first ever AEW Women's Champion. We have Nyla Rose versus Rio. Now, Rose and Rio both earned their spots in this at the All Out pay-per-view. Rose won the 21-woman Casino Battle Royale, eliminating Britt Baker last, and Rio defeated Shida in a singles match. Really good. I'm impressed with Shida too, by the way. So they are focusing maybe on Rose's status as the first openly transgender wrestler to sign with a major promotion. I'm reading this off of CBS Sports. But she's an amazing pro wrestler if you've never seen her. I think a lot of people are going to be impressed. And I'm going with Rio for the win, man. I know a lot of people are saying Nyla, but I think Rio's the one who's going to end up taking over and becoming the first AEW Women's Champion. She's probably going to get folded like a pretzel several times in this match because of how small she is, but this is a good big woman, little woman contrast match. I can't wait to see what these two do in the ring. But give me Rio for the win. And real quick, man, Cody has talked about we've only seen some of the roster. So who's going to be making their debut? We've heard rumors of Jack Swagger. I know some people are trying to shout out CM Punk. I'll believe it when I see him on the stage, and then I'll lose my mind. Until then, I'm not talking about CM Punk coming anywhere anymore till I see it happen. Like, I just don't care at this point. Unless it's talked about in the wrestling world, I just can't invest my time into it. And CM Punk's probably my second favorite wrestler of all time. But you just can't focus in on it too much, man. And in the main event, we're going to have the Elite, the original Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho and two mystery partners. This is a match going way back. Jericho and Kenny Omega have history going back to Wrestle Kingdom 12. That's where they fought for the United States Championship, the New Japan Pro Wrestling U.S. Championship. and they fought at Double or Nothing. Jericho got the win there. Who gets the win here, though? And the Bucks are in this match, and they've got to worry about the tag team tournament that's coming up in the upcoming weeks as well. What are they going to do? First question is, who are Jericho's mystery partners? I'm going to go with LAX or PNP. Why? Why not? I believe their name is Powerful and Pride now, or it's something like that. It's PNP. I'm always going to call them LAX until I get used to it. But I think it's going to be LAX. And honestly, I think for the win here, I'm going to say that Jericho and the two mystery partners get the win. Either way it goes, I think you're going to end up keeping Chris Jericho strong in this matchup. And I think the Elite are going to take the L in the beginning of this for these two mystery partners. But we'll see. Maybe it ends in a smorgasbord kind of brawl, and everybody it turns into a Donnybrook, or as Vince McMahon would say, a melee, and they just go nuts, and we just see a big fight happen. Either way, I'm excited for AEW, and make sure you guys check out my YouTube channel. I will have a review going up immediately after the show goes off air. NXT, you guys are going to have to wait if you want my thoughts on that. And I'm going to do a WWE show on Friday after SmackDown. You guys can catch up on all the WWE stuff. I'm happy and thankful for everyone who always tunes into it. And right now, things are subject to change with all this, but I know I want to do that AEW review on Wednesdays after the show happens. So that's what you guys are going to get. Now, last but not least, let's talk SmackDown real quick. The Rock says he's going to be at the SmackDown premiere on Fox, and he was tweeting, and I quote, "Finally, I come back home to the WWE Universe. This Friday night, I'll return for our debut of SmackDown Live on Fox TV. There is no greater title than the People's Champ, and there's no place like home. Tequila on me after the show. If you smell," that's the hashtag. Love it. The show is named after The Rock. You had to have Rock on this show. Good to see him. I hope that he thinks about doing one more match. I need my match, Rock, with Triple H, bro. I need my match. You, Triple H, Attitude Era style, ref bumps, craziness. And that's the way I want you both to go out, or at least you, Rock. But supposedly you're done. But love what we got lined up here for Friday Night SmackDown. We've got Stone Cold rumored to appear, Trish Stratus. There's going to be some big names and surprises for this Fox show. WWE has to pull out all the stops. Fox paid $1 billion, and they are very hands-on with their shows. They're going to make sure that they get the best damn product they can. So we're going to have to see what life is like on Fox for WWE. Maybe they're going to be held accountable, though, if ratings begin to slip. So to me, this is the new A show that everyone's going to need to focus on. Friday Night SmackDown, what do we got lined up for us? Right now we have Roman Reigns and Eric Rowan going one-on-one. I'm kind of done with this feud. I know that at Hell in a Cell they've got a tag match, Harper and Rowan versus Reigns and Bryan. Maybe we see some of Unraveling tonight. Maybe we see Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan working well together. Or do Rowan and Harper continue to dominate? We'll have to see. I'm going with Roman Reigns for the dub there. Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon in a ladder match. Loser is basically getting fired. I'm going with Kevin Owens for the win here. Shane's been around for too long, and I feel he's going to take a nasty spot off of the ladder. Why? Because it's SmackDown, baby, and they got to get those ratings up, and you need a moment on this show. We have the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, and teaming with her partner, Charlotte Flair, versus the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley and Sasha Banks, the Boston Hug Connection. This will be a fun match with the 4 horsewomen in it. In this match, I'm going to go with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair to get the win. I think for some odd reason, we may get Bayley versus Charlotte again at Hell in a Cell. We'll have to see what happens with it here. But I'm going to go with the baby faces for the win. And Brock Lesnar versus the WWE Champion, Kofi Kingston. Come on, Kofi. I love Kofi's title reign. Most people are ready for him to lose the belt. Kofi's been a great champion, in my opinion, but is Kofi Kingston ready to drop the WWE title? I feel like you could do another match at this point, but my heart answer is I want Kofi to win. but I'm going with the smart money. I predict we get a new WWE champion. It's Brock Lesnar's first time wrestling on SmackDown in almost 15 years. You've got to go with it. Brock Lesnar, new WWE champion. I saw some crazy stats for Brock Lesnar too. Last time he wrestled on SmackDown, the iPhone wasn't out yet. Facebook was a month old. Liv Morgan was 9. Like crazy facts. But Friday Night SmackDown should be amazing. And once again, I'll be going live after that show as well. So you guys will be able to catch up on everything WWE on Fridays. That's the current plan for me right now. I don't think people want to see me stream multiple times, 40-minute streams, when we could talk about everything all in one and kind of make it cool. Maybe I'll even use the podcast to do some stuff for Raw and NXT, whatever we need to just get my thoughts out on those things. But guys, I just wanted to get this podcast out, talk to you, let you know that I'm still here. Everything Pro Wrestling is back. I'm working on the time frames on when stuff should be dropped. But if you guys like this, let me know. Leave me that 5-star rating. And also make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Everything's in the description box in that link tree. And once again, I want to give a big thank you to anyone who has supported me, bought a t-shirt, a magnet, a sticker, whatever, with Everything Pro Wrestling. Even if you've come in, talked to me, interacted with me on Twitter, you guys are the reason that I keep doing this. I love it. I want my voice to get bigger so that I can bring you guys with me on the way to the top. So, guys, this is Everything Pro Wrestling. I'm Conrad Cushman, and we are out. Make sure you guys are enjoying wrestling this week because it's been fan-freaking-tastic. And I'm out. Peace.